Hello YouTube, it's Jack here, hope you are doing well. Today I'm going to be doing a UK review of the Honda ADV 350. Great little bike. I've had it for about 2 months now. I've only just done 600 miles on it, simply because this is kind of the first day of spring. As you can see, the trees are starting to get their little green buds are coming out. So yeah, haven't really ridden it a great deal. So I think in terms of this bike, before I kind of give you my thoughts on it, first of all, this will not be a technical review. If you want tech specs, if you want to know, millimeters of things and brake horsepowers to the, the whatever rev range and all that sort of stuff, go ask someone else or go onto the Honda UK page itself. This is just a review of how I have found it, what I kind of enjoy about it, what I don't enjoy about it, and how it's kind of set up, I suppose, for UK roads. I'm down on the south coast of England. Lots and lots and lots of traffic, not that many fast, sweepy roads, and just lots of people. So yeah, it's kind of in its element in a way. I regularly take it into Brighton and I've taken it into London. So I've kind of done city riding on it. So first of all, what did I pay for it? I bought it brand new and I paid £5,700 for this. First service is 150 quid and that is at 600 miles. In terms of what it is, it's a 350. Ooh, just heard a dog in the background there, screaming away. It's a 350cc producing around 29-30 brake horsepower. Now that doesn't sound like a great deal, and well, it isn't a great deal to be fair, but you would be surprised. This thing can actually shift. This thing can hustle on. I'm really surprised. Give you a bit of context about my biking. I'm 42 years old, passed my test in the early 2000s. First bike was a 600cc Suzuki, well, the first big bike was a 600cc Suzuki Bandit. And I have ridden and owned pretty much everything bike-wise, from V-twin Harley Davidsons to fast inline 4 sports bikes to 125cc Honda Groms. I've had a Honda PCX 125. This is my first maxi scooter. And presently I own a GSXS 750 Suzuki inline 4, and I am just about to also purchase a Royal Enfield 650. I forgot the name. Interceptor, that's it, Interceptor. A Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, which is kind of a sit up and beg, I suppose, old man's bike, which I'm very much looking forward to getting in the summer. So I bought this because I wanted a bike that I could go out all year round in the winter. I support Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club. I wanted a bike that I could ride to the stadium, park it up outside the stadium, not have to get on trains full of thousands of people potentially with COVID, and walk into the stadium in 2 minutes. And I didn't care about it getting wet, I didn't care about it getting rained on, I didn't care about it getting snow and sleet on it, and I wanted it to have enough power that on the motorway on the way over to Falmer Amex Stadium I could basically not have to worry. And before, I had the little Grom for that 125, and I think that produces, is it 9 or 10 brake horsepower, and it just wasn't enough. It was a fun little bike, but it just wasn't enough. So I was delighted when I got on this thing and opened it up for the first time, and yeah, compared to the Grom, sorry, it felt like it was flying. But yeah, it does go. So in real world terms, obviously on a closed circuit track, this thing will happily sit at 85-90 mile an hour, happily. It'll certainly sit at 80 all day long. I mean, it will sit at 85 all day long, but it will happily sit at 80. 70, no problem. It's not even, it's not even puffing at 70. In terms of what you kind of get on it, full LED lighting all round, Showa suspension. You've got an adjustable screen which has got 3 adjustment points, as you can see. Click, click, click. You can see them there, the little circles, 1, 2, 3 going up there. I know that the Forza 350 has got the screen has got a little toggle here, and then you just press it and it it kind of, the screen automatically goes up and down. Obviously the ADV 350 doesn't have that. However, I have never once, when I've been riding it, thought to myself, oh, I want to put the screen down now. Basically, I leave that screen up 24/7 in its full upright position. The only time I bring it down is when I pop it in the garage and put the cover over it. So just simply because the cover hasn't got that much stretch in it, so that's the only time I have the, oh, there's my glove just fallen off the back of the plate. That's the only time I have the screen down. So for me, the Forza 350, it wasn't worth it, you know, for the same kind of money and for basically the same bike, engine-wise. I would rather have had the stuff that this came with rather than the stuff that came with. And I suppose the difference between really the Forza and this is that the Forza gets you the screen that's got the electric up and down, and this thing has the more plush Showa suspension. So Showa suspension, Showa, can you see them? Showa forks somewhere down there, you can see them. You can see it says Showa, if you can, if that's coming up. Maybe you can't actually. There you go, Showa. Showa forks in the front, and then the Showa piggybacks on the rear. The suspension is you know, pretty good, I suppose, for a scooter. For a scooter, it's very good, I suppose. But you know, it's not going to do amazing off-road stuff. But you know, it's better suspension certainly than my PCX 125 I had a few years ago. That really was hard. The tyres on this thing, again, they are kind of supposedly made for a bit of light off-roading. I suppose they give you a bit of confidence. I've taken it a few times just onto kind of gravel tracks and stuff like that. You also get these kind of slightly off-roady, I call them Barkbusters, but they're not Barkbusters, the Honda equivalent of the Barkbusters. This this kind of reflective stickering stuff is an aftermarket thing, so they're just black as standard. What else do you get on it? That's about it really. The top box case, what's it called, bracket on the back, that's not standard, that's aftermarket. I've got a shad top box that I've put on it. In terms of the underseat storage, it's excellent. You can get a lot of stuff in there. As I say, because I'm regularly parking this in Brighton, I've got my Almax chain, my P-Wag chain, and an Abus big D-lock, but you can get full face helmet under there. I have, anyone that follows me on YouTube will know, I have a variety of helmets, Arai, Shoei, HJC, I've got an X-Lite, I've got a Simpson Bandit, they all fit under. Everything fits under there, so there's no issue with that. Yeah, and I think a pretty good looking bike. As the scooters go, it's about as good looking as it's going to get, really, I think. Obviously the Rossi sticker is optional. If you're a Marquez fan, put one of them on if you like, or put nothing on. As I say, I'm in my 40s, I should have grown out of stickers, but I've still got a bit of a sticker obsession. Other little things, if you are putting a mount for any kind of phone, I've got a quad lock on there, but any kind of phone mount, this bar is very fat, so take that into account. My initial quad lock mount didn't actually fit, so I had to fit a RAM mount on there, which looks a bit stupid, but it is what it is. In terms of the dash, pretty simple LCD. Can you see that? Probably not. Pretty simple LCD. You know, you've got kind of a few bits and bobs on here that you can toggle through just on the side here, and then you've got a traction control to turn the traction control on and off. But yeah, all your sort of your normal stuff like your range, your trips, your total mileage, and whether or not you need things like oil change, outside temperature, and then you've got a pretty decent fuel gauge. The lights, again, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but the lights are really great actually. I think they look fantastic. Obviously the indicators aren't flashing, it's just one of those things that when you put it in front of a camera they look like they're flashing, but they're not. So yeah, I absolutely love it. The only thing that I don't love, and I really don't love it at all, is the key. So there's no standard old-fashioned analog style key. You get one of these stupid you know, like fob key things, and a couple of times I have actually got off the bike, gone into a shop, come back out again, and I cannot turn the bike on. It's like it's not registering the key, so I've had to wait 5 or 10 minutes, and yeah, and then it's kind of worked. So when I've taken it back for the first service, I've mentioned that, and to be fair, they kind of said, oh, we don't really know anything about that. So I'm going to keep persevering with it and see what happens, but I actually think I might have a problem with my key fob recognition unit thing. But the guys over at P&H Motorcycles didn't actually pick anything up on that, so, you know, it is what it is. But apart from that, I genuinely love the thing. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's fun to ride as well. It really is genuinely fun to ride. Corners fantastically. Because the bars are very wide, it's incredibly nimble in the corners. It really is. 2 up, it's great. I've taken a variety of people on it. I myself weigh about 13.5 stone. I've had my old man on the back of it. He's about the same weight as me. Partner on the back of it, she's about, I suppose, 11.5 stone. And no problem at all, pulls easily. Acceleration wise, nothing off the line will beat you up until about 50 mile an hour. After 50 mile an hour, obviously all the sports bike stuff will start, you know, doing you, but this thing really is quick. I mean, it really does pull, it just goes. It's got a little kind of cubby hole thing on the left hand side, which has got one of those, the new USB, or what they're called, USB-C style chargers. I don't actually have a USB, is it a USB-C? Anyway, one of the new style USB cables. I don't actually have one of those cables yet, so I don't actually have anything in it. But yeah, you can charge your phone on the go with this, and on the ADV forum there is a way of looping the wire down kind of through the lower side of the fairing, so you can actually then pop it up and you can use your charger on the go. So yeah, apart from the key fob thing, there's nothing I don't like about it. Absolutely nothing. I kind of feel like it's almost the perfect bike, really, in many ways. You know, it just does exactly what you want it to. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It will get you anywhere. The weather protection's pretty good. If you tuck your legs in, keep the screen up nice and high, because obviously it's got the Barkbuster style, Honda Barkbuster style things. That does, you know, a bit of decent protection, keeping your hands out. Mirrors are fantastic, and they really are actually very good. A couple of people on the ADV forums have said that they're seeing their shoulders in the mirrors. I don't have that problem, so I don't really know. And I mean, I train with weights. I mean, I've got relatively wide shoulders, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I think the mirrors are absolutely fantastic. As I say, you can put a large, I've got a 46 litre top box. That's a shad bracket that I've got on. The exhaust, I mean, it doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't sound great, but it doesn't sound terrible. It's quite a large stock exhaust, but then anything Euro 5 is gonna be. The seat is very comfortable. Oh, one other little thing that I'm not too keen on, but again, this is not really, I don't know what you can say about this really. This area here gets very, very, very scuffed because you're constantly kind of on and off and on and off, and you're putting your legs through. So that's getting very, very, very scuffed all the time. So I'm gonna have to sort of put a bit of something on there just to get the scuffing. The reason that's happening is because it's quite a high bike. And actually, that is something to mention. Actually, I am literally a few millimeters shy of 6 foot, and I can just about flat foot on this. It's not really the height, it's more the seat width. It's very broad. It's literally like a horse's saddle. And consequently, the width of that seat does make it very, very, it feels very high. If you're kind of, I suppose, 5'7" and under, you may struggle on this. Yeah, in terms of just confidence, putting your feet down, that kind of thing. What else to say? Yeah, suspension is as I said, pretty good. Clocks are good in terms of the screen is all you know, all fine. Screen's good. It's just a really good all-round bike. It's a brilliant all-round bike. They are quite expensive, as I say, just over 5.5, about 5.7. New on the road, they are quite expensive, but I suppose you get that kind of bulletproof Honda thing. They're going to go forever. And yeah, I do think for a scooter they look pretty cool. In mainland Europe, or on mainland Europe, there's millions of the things. In the UK we still haven't quite fallen in love with maxi scooters yet, but it's funny, I've been to a couple of sort of bike meets recently, over in Brighton and one at Whiteways and Bury Hill and that, and immediately I've had people come up to me. I was in Rikers, Dorking, Box Hill a couple of weeks ago, and immediately someone's come up to me, started talking about this and said they really want one as a second bike, blah blah blah. But either as a kind of a a first bike utilitarian vehicle for kind of doing absolutely anything, or as an absolutely brilliant second bike to use just for going and getting your shopping, or as I say, going to the football or whatever on. Can't go wrong. That twist and go engine is just effortless, and this has got the power to do anything in terms of motorway wise. You're basically the equivalent of a fast moving car in this, and it feels safe because you're kind of big, so people give you the sort of respect that you get on a motorcycle, but you have the convenience of being on the scooter. So yeah, I love it. I think I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Go try one. But to be fair, even if you have ridden scooters before and you're thinking of taking a punt on one, just go buy one. You won't be disappointed. Genuinely, you will not be disappointed. This thing is absolutely brilliant. Okay, take it easy. Bye bye.